Alright, hello Miss Victoria and everybody at Cattleman Guns. Wynn in Columbus, Georgia here. And as you can see before me, I've got the T-1 that you sent to me, made by Pneuwa, i.e. Cattleman Guns, and going to do a quick review for you. First impressions, I pulled open the cardboard box and hey, here was a hard case. It's nice because a lot of times you get something like this in, it comes in either styrofoam or you have a soft case. Soft case is great, but it's nice to have a hard case to put it in to protect all the stuff that comes with it. So that was a real good surprise. I knew it was coming with it, but it's different when you see it. And it saves me some time having to go out and shop for one. So that, all in all, for what I paid for this, I think that's a great deal there. Opened up the case and all this neat stuff was in there. I'm wearing a little bit of it now, not the best male model for this shirt probably. Let me turn it around so you can see the logo. Real nice logo, real nice looking shirt, nice moisture wicking material here. It's a little cool on a day like today, but that's understandable. This is wintertime. The hat is great. The material in this hat is fantastic. I pulled this hat out of the case, fluffed it up a little bit. You can't even tell it was ever in the case and closed out or crushed or whatever. So really impressed with that. A lot of times you get a hat and it gets crushed and you can just never make it look right again. This thing just fluffed up right there, so fantastic. Of course, the Cattleman bandana right here. I just got this folded so you can get a good view of it. I like that nice jersey knit material. You don't have to wear the regular or the face mask and it's going to look good. The dog tags, hey, what can you say about that? That's a fantastic thing. Really impressed. And it's nice to know when I made my purchases, some of the money that I spent was actually going to go to help somebody. So it's nice to do business with a company that's giving back to the community. One thing really impressed me, and I'll get to the gun in a minute, but one thing really impressed me is when I opened this case up, I found this accessory box. You don't see that very often at all. That means I've got a box to put all my little magazines, my charging tube that came with it, and by the way, the nice black finish on there, that's great. You take this thing hunting or whatever, you don't want to get out there and have something that's brass or aluminum and all shiny, so that's really neat. Also like the way this fits in on the end over here, and I'll get to that in a minute. But really like the dog tags, and our veterans what can we say, the veterans just sacrifice too much for us, and much appreciate all the sacrifices they make. Nice monopod here. Took the old Alabama boy here a few minutes to figure this out, but after sitting here doing this and doing this, I said, wonder what the button's for, and wow, surprised me. Plus you've got a mount on the side to mount you some kind of Picatinny rail or a Picatinny device if you want to, a laser, flashlight, whatever. So really neat addition to the rifle set there. Got a little play in it here, but that's okay, I think, because if somebody's got it on the rifle, they're laying there bench resting or whatever, need to have a little flexibility so they can angle their angle of the barrel of the rifle while they're aiming. So I think that's a really great feature there. The magazines. Nice thing about this magazine is all you got to do is just stick one in, turn it, hold it, stick another one in until you're full. Some of the other companies' magazines, you know, you have to turn it one way, stick one in, then turn it the opposite direction and finish loading them. This is real simple, plus according to your website, you've got compatibility with other manufacturers out there, so that's all much better there. And I've got the other magazines that I ordered a couple, but you know, it comes with two. I ordered a couple extras here, and I've got them all loaded up. I have done a little shooting here in the backyard as much as I can get away with. I don't have much room to shoot, and I do have to be careful on my angles because I do have neighbors back here. In the box, real quick, back to the accessory box. You know, that's the best looking bottle of oil I've seen to date in the firearms industry or air gun industry. That's a really classy look, and everything about what I've seen so far just says that Cattleman Guns is a class company, and that you're going to be glad to doing business with them. Nice business cards here. Took one look at those. I've seen a lot of business cards, and I got to tell you, that's some of the best I've ever seen right there. I asked my wife, and she looked at them, and she agreed. She's seen business cards too before. She's like, you know, those are really fantastic. So, a lot of class right there. I'm going to use that word several times during this presentation because class is a word that I really do believe is synonymous with Cattleman air guns and Cattleman guns. Got a few stickers over here. I can put one on the back of the Jeep there and then one on the back of the other Jeep. Now to the rifle. Let's start. I'm going to start on the muzzle end. Great looking gauge. That's a heavy duty gauge. And let me stop right here. I'm going to say this rifle is robust. Everything about it is just well built. I am very impressed with the build of this rifle. The gauge on the front, recognize the logo there, and it's an excellent gauge. I do have one suggestion, that perhaps the gauge, instead of being on the muzzle end, might be located somewhere else on the side, so that we can avoid having to expose ourselves to the muzzle in order to be able to see the pressure on the gauge. With proper precautions and safety, that's not a big deal. It's the old shooter in me. I was just taught, don't look down the barrel unless you know it's unloaded and you're cleaning it. Okay. The end here, real impressed with the end that screws off here. It's very nicely threaded. It's not rough. It's nice and smooth. The finish on the adapter covering is excellent. So folks want to put some kind of suppressor or some kind of flash suppressor, whatever, on the end of it, they got that option. So it's a really nice feature. The hand guards here, really great. The fact that you don't have to go buy pick tinny rails, these already have them molded in it. That's just a plus. If you go, price pick tinny rails, that's a big cost right there. So that's another big plus for me. The finish on the rifle, I like the finish. I'm one of these people that if it's got a really nice shiny finish or whatever, I'm afraid to touch it because of the acid that's in the oil in your hands and leaving fingerprints, and you have to make sure you wipe it and oil it every time. This finish right here, it just says go ahead and touch me. I love this matte finish. Handled it a few times since I got it in, and to be honest with you, you just wipe it with a rag when you get through, maybe a little oil, if you get a little dirt on it or whatever, it wipes right off. So I'm going to enjoy that finish. Non-reflective, of course, that's even better. The etchings on the side here, not this one, because this is the mount I had to put on here to fit the scope that I put on it with the the rings that came with the scope, and I'll go over that in a minute. But anyway, your etchings here, excellent. It's high quality. It's all there. There's nothing missing. On the other side over here, of course, where it talks about the caliber and everything, and even the model number. Now let's talk about safety. I know you and I discussed the safety on the phone, and I understand your philosophy about why that safety is where it's at, and I don't have any problem with it. Not that my opinion in that counts anyway, but safety, keeping the things safe is the best thing to do, and I fully follow with that. Maybe for the more experienced shooters, people who are more comfortable, I don't know, if there was a aftermarket fitting or something that can mount on here so that you could manipulate it with your thumb, perhaps. That's not something that's got to be done, but maybe a later model might feature something like that. The grip here, really nice quality rubber grip with a pattern on it. Feels good in the hand. I've got no problems with it. It feels really great. Trigger guard, I still wonder about the gap here. When I first looked at it on the website, I thought, well, that's a cocking feature or a safety feature. It's not a big deal. I kind of prefer that it comes all the way, but maybe this serves a purpose of being able to mount a grip that may have a little bit more on the front. So yeah, not a big deal. I wouldn't worry about changing that at all. Trigger pull, it's nice. Is there a way to put an adjustment on it so some of the travel distance can be taken out of it? If I was asking for a custom feature on this, I think that's probably what I would ask for. The actual pull of the trigger, don't have a gauge available, but nothing uncomfortable at all. The folding stock, I really like the idea of the folding stock here. That way, if you want to store it or you're carrying it just back and forward to the campsite or whatever, you got that feature. And when you're ready to shoot it, you just open it up And there she is, full position stock, really like that. Short arms here, pulling it back 2 positions, puts me right in the position I need to be. The adjustable cheek piece is even better, gets the head up off the stock, and of course gives you a better feature as far as being able to see straight on into the scope. So no complaints there at all. The rubber piece on the end here, I got to tell you, I'm real impressed with this piece of machinery here. They did a good job. It's a keeper, and as I texted you earlier, I told you I have 2 categories. It's either it's a keeper or it's not a keeper. This is a keeper for sure. Really think they're going to have a lot of people interested in this thing. Going to take it up to the muzzleloaders club there, to the range there, and I'm sure when some of the guys pop in and they see that, they'll probably be wanting to order some. So I'll be glad to refer them to Cattleman Guns there so they can get one. One thing else, and seems to be a positive thing, is this being able to go on this end of the rifle. It's not poking out the sides, it's poking out the bottom. It's a dark color, so if you're going to go hunting, you're going to go target shooting, you just leave it in there all day. It's got a nice, good lockup to it. It's nice and tight. I felt a couple of rifles that were a little sloppy, but this one is really nice and tight, so I'm really impressed with that. All in all, this is a good deal, a really good deal. I'm very impressed. It puts it in that under $1,000 range where, you know, more people will be able to afford it and get it out there on the market. I'm going to ask my lovely assistant here. She'll just hand me my scope. Thank you, darling. And what I did, I chose the UTG bug catcher, 3x9x40 with adjustable objective, and the reason being is it's just a good price little scope. It didn't set me back a whole lot. All in all, with everything, with the pellets I bought and the extra things that I bought from you, you know, I've still got less than $800 in this, and that's a really, really good deal. It's hard to find something like this for that. There are others out there, but when I saw this one the very first time, I was very curious about it. I will say this: the pictures on the website do not do it justice. I was really, really impressed. So don't know what can be done about that. But when I opened up this case, it was like, hey, you know, wow, that's something else. So with the scope, I just got the get this on here. I've got the flip mounts on it, so that's what it looks like with the scope on it. Let's see if I can get that to stay there. I think the spring popped back a little bit on that. And then of course, let's see if I can get this on here today. I have practiced with this. And I don't know if I mentioned I'm in the backyard, our urban woodland here, but I do have neighbors close by, so I have to be considerate and thoughtful about them. So be careful when I pick it up and point it. But there it is. I'm very pleased. A little bit about shooting it. I did throw an apple about this big out to about 20 yards. After I sighted it in, I used a laser scope in the bore, and then of course dialed the sights in on the scope. And I was able to go ahead and give the apple a hard time. A couple of those pellets went right through the old apple. I'm going to put it on a bench, take it up where I can go to 100 yards, put it on a bench and do a little more sighting in. Out of the box, a real quick setup and everything. I could be hunting the squirrels back here, but we like to feed the squirrels. We enjoy watching them come up on the porch and play. So I leave my local squirrels alone anyway. I'm going to enjoy the rifle, and I'm glad I got to talk to you folks, glad I met you folks, and we'll be talking more for sure. And I'm sure that there's going to be a few more of these products coming to our location, because the girls have already seen it, and the girls are very interested in it. So thanks a lot, and if you have any questions there, just email me or text me, and I'll get a response back to you. We'll be doing another shooting video on it. I just wanted to get this one on to you today, and then I'll work on the other and get those to you. Thanks a lot.